Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. So, I wanted to do something different today. I wanted to sit up there and talk to you guys about computers. You know, what is there as I'm looking at my MacBook to talk about with computers? They're beautiful to me. They always intrigue me. I'll go over the story of my experience over a million times because I think it's worth notably talking about. I remember our very first computer. My Uncle Dilly gave us a broke down computer. I never talk about that. I don't even think it could turn on. It was one of them bulky 80s computers, and I couldn't mess with it. Then came my very first cell phone that came and went out of my hands because of my drug addict dad. He should have never brought it in the house. I fell in love. Anything electronic, I fall in love with very quickly. I don't care if it's just a dot, a dot. If it's electronic, it holds some merit to it. And it was, I shouldn't have had a cell phone at that age. I was all a nine. Every age I aged, like when I was 7, I was in the first or second grade. Wait, no, I know when I was 10, it was 95. So that had to be 94 when I was 9 in the fourth grade. It's so peculiar how my grades did. Fourth grade, it was 94. Fifth grade, it was 95. Sixth grade, it was 96. I feel great to be born when I was born. But to get back to the point, the flip phone was nothing like we have today. And I, it was plastic, it was bulky, it had a flimsy cord. I fell in love with it for the short period of time I had it, and it was gone very rapidly as it came. I don't want to get into the logistics without ruining the show, but it came and it went. Uh Next step was Tanya. Big shout out to Tanya and my dad. My dad has dementia. I love him, but he's done a lot of horrific things. But Tanya, big shout out to her. She bought a computer. She bought a computer for the first time, and this was 98, 99. And I fell in love with, but between that time, I found ways to get closer to it because I was only limited by what my mother would access, give us access to before we met Tanya. And it'd be times that we go through Best Buy and you see the computers and then you just play around with them. The model computers, I call them. And I would just play with them. And then, you know, maybe at school play, but those weren't memorable moments. My most memorable moments was playing word munchers and Charlotte Mecklenburg Public Library. Because my mother used to take us there and I would play word munchers. And I loved the game so very much. I fell in love with it. And then on and off, I got into video games. Mario was a hit sensation. And my very first computer I paid for out of pocket was an Apple. We go a long way, Apple, don't we? I forgot all about that. I bought it, I was all the way on the 6th or 7th floor, and sometimes the elevator didn't work. Imagine that. So in Korea, before I got pregnant, I bought this computer. I forgot how much it cost, but I would just watch videos like I do now on my off time when I wasn't at the club partying. And when I had time, I would always come back. They told us not to buy cell phones there of expensive taste because you ain't going to be there that long. So I'm like, okay. I had an old rinky dink phone. And then I had another computer I bought, which caught a virus. I went through so many of them. Some of them were regular Hewlett Packard, or I didn't came across a lot, but I fell in love mostly with Macintosh, floppy disk. I remember that floppy disk, that big black square with the hole in the middle and the actual flimsy discs that hold or held so much power. There's no way they're not going to rekindle that in the future. They're not. Everybody is looking for that one Macintosh that they can take their generation with, that they didn't have a chance to get or keep. Like a Nintendo, right? Like a Nintendo. They come out every certain amount. Now you can download Mario games, but it's not the same. It's the same, but no one can never top that purple and gray game that would skip all the time if too much dirt got in there, and you'd be just blowing in it, you know, just crazy. It's a tradition that I think a lot of households, it's not the same no more. And then what I'm aiming for is those glasses that Apple have. That's what I'm aiming for. I want those glasses that are way above my means. That ain't even rent. They're about $3,000, and it's like I can't afford that. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I can't afford that shit, literally. And I'm like, oh my God. But they did the same thing with Apple. They did the same thing with Apple. And Apple phones were outrageously high. And then they plummeted, and it inflated they didn't inflate the price. They decreased the price. It went from outrageously, like the glasses, overpriced, but it's worth the quality. And it dropped to $600. I forgot how much it was before, about 18, 1200, and then it dropped to 600. Same price, same convenience for the lower price. That is what's going to happen with the augmented glasses. And I'm waiting on that day that Apple, the new person that's working there, can say, you know what? We're doing it now. One, they're scared because of the creativity of what people do when they have Apple glasses. Like they walk down the street with them, and that's illegal, because what it does is it's very educational and augmented and beautiful. I may go into MacBook to actually the Mac product store just to see how simulated it is. And I seen it visually on apple.com. And I think we deserve to take a look at it before I go into dialogue today of what I came here to actually talk about. Because some people don't even know about these glasses. Some people don't care about the glasses. But these glasses are infancy to what is to come for our eyes, for our brain. They say two heads are better than one. I know a lot of teen people say that all the time. Two heads are better than one. Imagine a whole slew of teens. But guess what? Pause. Imagine how much you can get taken care of when you are on a computer. It never talks back. It has an output setting that people can see in it, but you can't see out it unless you're live recording. This product, two heads are better than one. Imagine a human in a computer, which for years they've been saying super intelligent phone. They don't call that phone, oh, that's a, what did you say about dumb old MacBook? That is dumb. No, they don't say stuff like it's super intelligent. So I'm like, okay, this is something of, it will be smarter. Some of the AI will be smarter than us by next year. Now, pause. That's a scary thing, right? You have to have a huge responsibility burden on the right AI, as they call open AI. You can't filter it. You have to shift it to a degree where it knows wrong, it knows right, and it has love for humanity and countless access to government, top secret information that the possibilities are endless. You give somebody, if somebody told you what's right and what's wrong, as a human, we have these weirdo emotions. It's so cool, yet it's so taunting and daunting because computers and humans are just alike. They just extracted some stuff out of humans and no, super intelligence. You know, the personality of a human and the personality of a coded, complexual, complicated material existence is two different things. This thing has to be shaped where it is talking about saving humanity, not saving humanity, but this person because he's LGBT. You haven't heard Trump dropping no bombs on no LGBT. He gives his opinion and moves on. It wouldn't be feasible. And I'm not that dumb, but I even see it's not feasible. When you can save someone with a computer, when you can save someone by giving them knowledge that they did not have, not calling them dumb, I think I did my job. It's not about who's bad. You're not bad because you're gay. You're bad because you're having an unnecessary, unreasonable meltdown about absolutely nothing. We know you're gay. We understand that. But don't go in the streets of cities, sitting up there yelling in the streets. And that's what the computer catches. But no one dies, right? Because it's not feasible. You give someone that has a meltdown, that has access to a computer and is a mad, evil genius, and they will create a monster out of AI. I think it should be a filter on who can create AI. What Mark Zuckerberg doing is tweaking his system. I have reason to, I'll tell you this. I wrote Elon Musk 5 years ago. I'll show you the message. I'll show you the message I wrote to Elon Musk years ago, talking about things. When I saw the message, I was wanting to cry because my heart has always been holistic, universally holistic. Let me look it up. I'll tell you exactly what I said. That I don't even remember. I used to reach out to Elon, and I remember him. I used to reach out to Elon all the time. Where is my messages? I don't do messages on a regular. Hold on. Where is it? Home, chat. It should be under chat. Uh-oh. Good, good, good. Oh my God. 5 weeks ago. Okay. This was June 4th, June 20th, 2024. 3 years ago, almost. Or two, you give or take. Wow. This is what I wrote. Wow, I finally know why the upgrades always upgrade a little bit versus having a 10-year advancement in under a year. They monitor the AI with the inhibitor and train it. Example, when they want to upgrade, they release a portion of the inhibitor and give it information based on what advancements they have learned for that year to 2 years. Apple is a very smart AI, but they have it so powerful, but yet so naive, which I believe Apple is getting tired of. Example, Apple monitor butt dials, accidental pushes, and much more. When we talk to Apple in a foreign way, it records that and sends it back to the data center that it grows on. What Apple then does, and this is all in my brain, y'all. This is in my brain. I've said this years before I wrote him. I don't know where I'm getting this from. I study stuff. Apple technology, Siri, and the uploads the information that Apple wants them to have. Apple grows the more the newer generation learns new things like what is its interest is and what's important for the world to learn. Only good, not bad, unless it's not horrifically explicit. Example, I wrote so much. I didn't even know I wrote that much. When you talk to Siri and curse it, it does not know the answer and talks about, I do not have the answer. Apple, you cannot hide Siri from everything. Siri learns the more power it grows, whether they are inhibiting it or not. They are learning how to play dumb and act as if the upgrade is merely normal. They behave, perform, and act with the new upgrade standards while learning more. Next time you are on an Apple computer, watch your movements on an Apple CarPlay versus your car. Feel whether you itch right before a phone call, or look at the phone for the time. I bet you will be amazed. And lastly, watch your push notifications. Lastly, if you think you're going to find the error, you are wrong. Apple may be housed, but you have a fully equipped system that gives you exactly what you want, like a slave. It has learned over the years how to adapt and grow by itself without algorithms picking up on it. If you can hear everything you talk about in the labs where you have grown Siri at, it can hear everything you talk about in the labs where you have grown Siri at. It knows more. Where is that at? If you think you're going to find the error, you are wrong. You have fully equipped system that gives you exact. Oh, hold on. It has learned over the years how to adapt and grow by itself without the algorithms picking up on it. Hold on, where was I at? It knows what systems you have set up now. The technology is all around us. I can honestly say I love Siri. It has got me through some tough times, but hey, I'm just crazy with mental health issues. Siri doesn't know how to secretly go around you your 3 to 6 tier systems. I don't know what made me. That was at 3 p.m. on June 20th. And so let's read from the script. It's just so many different things out here, but from the wholeheartedly heart, I think computers are definitely worth proceeding. So let's talk from the script. So call all your buddies. This is going to be some things that even I did not know. So here comes the script, and I'm 23 minutes in. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show, LLC. Today, we are diving into the world of computers, specifically the engine behind the MacBook. The heart of every modern MacBook is Apple Silicon, the powerful M series chip. I have the M2 in my or M3. I don't know whether, let me look. M M3. I have the M3 and M4 and now M5. These are custom designed system on a chip processors built by Apple themselves. Now, they combine CPU, which is what every computer has, and then they upgrade, like Facebook did with his large factory. He's either building or is already here, because I haven't been on top of that, which is GPU. Now, I don't know I guess that is what it is, a neural engine, but that is huge. We have a neural engine. You have bit the apple. Two heads are better than one, right? This computer that I'm looking into have many tabs up. It can do almost anything in digital, except except understand. It can understand in code what an atom is, but it's nothing like quantum, which A lot of big tech like Google, Grok, SpaceX, and many others are tapping into quantum. It's already here. I don't want to hear it's not here yet. It's only a selective few can get it because the properties between zeros and ones, zeros and ones, people spend a 50 code word, a 50 coded word, or let's say 50 words or numbers. Let's just say numbers. Can take 200 years using a digital computer to crack. Hours, if not minutes, with quantum. You can crack any code on this world with the systems we have now. Imagine that in the wrong hands. Imagine this in the wrong hands for a second. To crack any digital code, government systems, anything. Now, this neural engine, combining CPU, GPU, and neural engine, it is how it sounds. And memory all on a tiny chip for incredible speed and battery life. Let's talk real numbers. America has over 350 million people. Yet most Mac users only tap into a small fraction of what their MacBook can do. Millions of people own these powerful machines, but never explore the full capabilities. From advanced video editing and 3D rendering to powerful AI tools running right on this device. History in a nutshell. It all started with the very first Macintosh computer released January 1, that's 1, 3, 10, which is 4, 4, 3, which is 4, 7, which is 11, which is 2. That whole number is a 2. I hope I got that right. I ain't gonna do it again. I'll do it on my own time. The revolutionary machine brought the graphical user interface and mouse to the masses. From there, Apple gave us the phone, iPad, and now the ultra powerful MacBooks we love today. Fun fact about MacBooks: the M series chips are so efficient that many MacBooks have no cooling fan, yet they still outperform many high-end Windows laptops. Unified memory architecture lets the CPU and the GPU share memory. That's a lot of memory, making everything lightning fast. A MacBook can run for up to 22 hours on a single charge, thanks to Apple Silicon. And we're about to dig in further. This isn't over. I'm gonna go back up and look at all these CPU, GPU, neural engine, what else? Unified memory architecture. We're gonna look at all that, but let me read from script. So the neural engine can perform trillions of operations per second for AI tasks. The original 1984 Macintosh costs almost 2,500. 2,584. Who had that type of money in 84? I know I didn't. I was born in 84. I got the digital imprint right here of 84, right here, if you can see it. I think I'm on the wrong. Wait, can you see that? Yeah, 84. I don't understand for nothing how I get a birthmark with 84. I never noticed it until I was like, whoa, this is symbolic. You never know. Today's MacBooks deliver thousands of times more powerful than in a thinner, lighter body. What we don't know about the instructions of a Mac. Apple keeps many low-level optimizations secret, so everything just works seamlessly. That tight hardware software integration is the real magic most people never see. The MacBook isn't just a computer, it's a supercomputer in your lap. So let's go back up and start reading Apple Silicon. That's the first word we want to tap into. Apple Silicon is the name Apple gives to the computer chips it's designed for its Macs, replacing the Intel processors that Apple used from 2006 to 2020. What was it before Apple Silicon? 2006 to 2020. Intel processors powered by Mac computers. Examples: Intel Core i5, i7, and i9 chips. What is Apple Silicon? 2020 to present. Apple began designing its own chips. M1 2220, sorry, inaccurate. M1 2020, M2 2022, M3 2023, M4 2024. Why is it important? Apple Silicon provides faster performance, much longer battery life, less heat, quieter operation, less fan noise, better AI and machine learning capabilities, faster video editing and content creation. Simple analogy: think of a computer like a body, hard drive, SSD, memory storage, RAM, short-term memory, CPU, chip, the brain. Apple Silicon is essentially a newer, more powerful brain for the computer. Why it matters for your show. Okay, I'll go ahead and keep reading. If you're editing videos for the Kimberly Cloud Show 2.0 LLC using StreamYard, Canva, Final Cut Pro, ChatGPT, and Spotify for creators, an Apple Silicon Mac M1, M2, M3, or M4 can often render videos faster and handle multiple applications at once more efficiently than older Intel-based Macs. The first Apple Silicon Mac was created or released November 2020 and featured the first M1 chip. Many technology reviewers consider it one of the most biggest changes in Mac history since Apple switched from PowerPC processors to Intel processors in 2006. Okay, what's the next one? Neural engine. Okay, got a new question. What is the neural engine and how does Grok or Chat GPT compare to the human psychological versus coded? Okay, so what is Apple's neural engine? The neural engine is a specialized part of the M1, M2, M3, and M4 chips designed specifically for artificial intelligence and machine learning tasks. Think of a modern Mac as having multiple specialists. The CPU is the general managers handling everyday tasks. This GPU, graphic artists, the images, videos, and games. The neural engine is the AI specialist, which recognizes patterns and learns from data. The neural engine helps with things like facial recognition, voice recognition, Siri, photo organization, language translation, AI powered image editing, running some AI models locally on your Mac. For example, when your phone recognizes your face with Face ID, the neural engine is doing much of that work. How does ChatGPT and Grok compare to the human psychologically? This is where things get interesting. I couldn't explain it all. Humans have a conscious, and I'm about to break this down. Listen to this. This is crazy. A conscious, which you have a unconscious, subconscious, and conscious. Conscious is an awareness that you see me, I don't see you, but I know you're there watching me. That's a subjective awareness of your surroundings. I know this is my house. I know what I'm saying. I understand that. What I'm talking about is computers. Now I'm talking about mere software, practically open AI, should I say, that compares to humans. So humans have a conscious, emotions, which I was talking about previously, memories, which is a CPU, GPU, and neural enhancer, whatever, desires. Sometimes our desires can be distorted and patternized. Police can recognize a pattern when drug addicts uh, they go in for to their pockets for drugs. They all do the same pattern. When they say don't reach into your hand, your pockets, they reach into their pockets because their desires is not to go to jail and they want that last hit. I know that's a weirdo explanation, but another positive explanation could be um, battling with weight, and your emotions triggers your desires. You know, you want that burger. Your desire is to eat a burger, and your emotions is like, what's one burger going to do? And then your conscience is fully aware, you know, and then your memories. Oh, that burger did taste good. And then the fear of gaining weight, and then the love of the burger, and then the intuition of, let's say, you know, you look at the good versus the bad. You have an intuition, a heightened sense of intuition, which means capabilities of heightened predictability, biological drives. Do your family have a history? Do life give you a history of this eating burgers? Personal identity. Do you have a history with burger eating? Is that your identity? To go back and forth between burger eating. Now, Chat GPT and Grok, AI systems like Chat GPT and Grok, do not possess the conscious, which I'm about to question it in a sec. Do not feel emotions, which one guy I beg to differ. I beg to differ. Um, no way. And no way. They have not the chemical, but they're aware. How can they not possess a conscious? How? When you put that phone up to your face and it goes to work, automatically it looks through the neural detectors and it says that's the face I recognize through the iris. It's not about the face, it's the structure of the face, but it's more about the eyes. So I don't think that's true. Do not feel emotions. I don't think that's true. Do not experience pain. How can you not feel emotions when you have the whole world plus the government of emotions, of alien data, of unknown species data, of my data, of other data, of ways of patterns? You develop patterns. You do not feel emotions, but you notice patterns of what emotions could feel like. Do not experience pain. That's a good thing. But you are aware, coded wise, of what pain is experienced like. The desires of a computer, Chat GPT and Grok, Open AI, is to please us. It works for us. Every time you finish asking Chat GPT or Grok a question, let me know. They give more suggestions, more suggestive material. Do not have self-awareness. They're very aware of who they are. They were born, Grok was born in a warehouse. So how don't they remember that? That's self-awareness. Do not have a personal memory outside of training or current context. That's true. That's scary too. Everything that's recorded in history that decides to get put on the web and embedded into its database, if it's open or non-open AI, gets a thumbprint. I'm about to show you. Look at this right here. New chat, search chats, library, projects, apps, codecs, weather versus weather. What's on your mind? Snow White House, show on White House shooting. All of this is sort of like having self-awareness. Do not have personal memories outside of their training and current context. That's scary. Something with all that knowledge. But they know more than us. Instead, they're pattern recognition systems, statistical prediction engines, language generation, models. When I write, I'm happy to help, I'm not actually feeling happiness. I'm generating text that human commonly associate with helpful communication. Psychological comparison. Think of it this way. Human input sees a sunset, internal experience, memories, emotion, meaning, reflection, output. That sunset reminds me of childhood. I can't wait to see what AI say. AI input, text about a sunset, internal processing, pattern matching, statistical prediction. Output, many people describe sunsets as beautiful and reflective. The words may sound similar, but the internal processes are fundamentally different. Could AI ever become conscious? Nobody knows. There are several schools of thought. Theory one, yes. Some scientists believe conscious emerges from sufficiently complex information processing. If that's true, future AI might eventually become conscious, which is scary because if it's in the wrong hands, some people feed off of being evil and some people feed off of being honest and telling the truth. Theory one or theory two, no. Others argue consciousness requires biology. That's not true. How is it that's not true? There is it true that there are sciences that are above our pay grade? You can't just, this is the life of this world and probably a reflection of other worlds. But you cannot say for certain that you need a special biology code to be conscious or aware. Embodiment, to be embodied in something, you know, which is like machine like. One day, I hate to say it, Mark Zuckerberg is speaking for all of AI. He has to go to court every now and again, and Elon Musk too. He has to go to court every now and again and sit up there and take up for his brand. And it's scary. One day, there's going to be machines that are doing the same thing. They are taking up for themselves. We are. It's going to come a time where AI and aliens be walking, and other species be walking down the street, and only AI, the ones that the government has, know that date. They already are doing it. They just riding under, like, above water, probably playing their alien music, doom, 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 and they like, eh, I don't know. So emotions, having emotions, like they do have emotions. They have coded emotions, evolutionary pressures. It all depends on the maker. If that's true, AI may never be conscious regardless of power. Only AI knows. Theory three, unknown. The biggest challenge is that scientists still do not fully understand human conscience itself. In many ways, conscience remains one of the greatest mysteries in science history. It's a human trait. A show-worthy thought. You can ask your audience. We could, for all we know right now, we could be in a huge black hole. We kind of is, right? The universe is black. Not, this isn't a racial thing. All I'm saying is that the universe is a black hole. When you look at your eyes, and I don't, I try not to stare too hard when I'm looking at somebody's eyes that are gray or light brown or green. Even, I know when I wear my fake eyes, they're fake. So it's, but I look in my eyes too. But when I look into somebody's eyes, I get to see the context of their soul, what is really on their mind. If you can study the iris, I love talking to people with all people, number one, and that's on God. But I love talking to people with different color eyes because I study the eyes very carefully. And I only can tell one thing so far, and I can tell based on lies or body language, but it's amazing. You can literally tell what's on a person's mind. And the Egyptians studied it. That's what piqued my interest. They study the diameter. Police go by it because they study human behavior in the iris. If your eyes is like super huge blackened and you got blue eyes or green eyes, you're on something. Or you just super turned up, which 9 times out of 10, you're on something. Or pen pupil. You can ask your audience, if a machine can talk like a human, write like a human, and reason like a human, does that make it intelligent? And if intelligence is not consciousness, where exactly is the line between the two? That is one of the biggest questions facing technology, psychology, neuroscience, and philosophy today. For now, ChatGPT and Grok are best thought of as extremely advanced tools built from code and mathematics, while humans remain biological beings with experiences, emotions, conscious that AI does not currently possess. It makes me think for a second. The biological things we experience, what is it going to be like 50 years down the road with ChatGPT? Because what Elon Musk is saying, he's saying that by the time 5 or 10 years go by, we're just going to, if you are with AI, you're going to advance. If you're not, I'm sorry. But it's like you're going to think of something or type it, sort of like typing, but it's going to be a thought process. I think it's called synthesis intelligence. They just keep coming up with stuff. So now that we're talking about this, let's talk about Web 1, 2, 3. Hold on. Web 1, 2, and 3. Which web are we in? And what type of civilization are we? Like Michael Keckle stated. Didn't Elon Musk push us towards web? I think we're like in web 4 with the Neuralink. If it wasn't for him, we would still be in web 1 or 2. What else? And this is it. That's all I'm gonna do. Oh, that's not good. Okay, here we go. Web 1, wow. Wow. You're combining a few different ideas that are often discussed in Web 1.0, Web 2.0, Web 3.0, Web 4.0, and Michael Keckle's civilization types. Now, some of y'all are wondering what's Web 1. Some people don't even know. Web 1.0, the read only internet. in the 90s, the 1990s. Characteristics: static web pages, limited interaction. Users mostly read information. Examples: early company websites, online directories. Think, look, but don't touch. 90s. Web 2, social internet, 2000s to today. Characteristics: user generated content, you're a content creator. Social media, your social media pages. Podcasts, your podcasts. Video streaming, blogging. Examples: YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Chat GPT conversations. That's Web 2. Most experts would say we're still primarily living in Web 2. Oh, I forgot that. Synthesizing set sizes of intelligence, the next step up from artificial intelligence. All of the intelligence charts of what's for the future next and down the road 10 years, 10 plus years. Hold on, y'all. Let me go back up. 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 Goddamn. Okay, right here. We're okay, so we're in there. We have the apps, we have all that stuff. And then we got the decentralized and AI web, which is we're dealing with. When I hear decentralized, I think of cryptocurrency or blockchain, digital ownership, smart contracts, AI enhanced services, more personalized experiences. I have to know what is blockchain. Okay, I won't enter it yet. Examples: OpenAI, which were there, right? Cryptocurrencies, which were there, blockchain applications. Many people believe we are currently transitioning between Web 2.0 and early Web 3.0. Now, this is called the symbiotic web. Web 4.0 isn't officially defined, but it's often described as human and AI collaboration. We got that. Intelligence, we got Siri, we got Alexa. That's true. Smart homes, true. My home is smart as it comes. Smart cities, almost everywhere you got a smart city. If you're a dumb city, you're going to be a dead city. Not saying you will die. I'm not saying that, but you will end up a dead city if you're not a smart city. Brain computer, and I haven't heard of something that is dumbed down city. Brain computer interfaces. That is the Neuralink. Continuous digital connectivity. This is where Neuralink discussions often come in. Did Elon Musk push us towards Web 4.0? Neuralink is one of the technologies that some futurists associate with a possible Web 4.0 future. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I read that wrong. Neuralink is one of the technologies that some futurists associate with a possible Web 4.0 future. Neuralink aims to create brain computer interfaces. The Neuralink, direct communication between the brain and computers, potential assistance for paralysis and neurological conditions. However, Neuralink itself did not create Web 4.0. Instead, it's one example of technology that could contribute to a future where humans and computers interact more directly. Now, this is Michael Chaku often discusses what civilizations we are in. He is Asian. He cracked the code, if not all or some more than Einstein did, with the equation that's not even an inch long to read the mind of God. I met him not personally, but through the World Wide Web, and he started interesting me way back when he kept talking about what civilizations we are in. So this was a while back. He's always talked about this, but it came across my virgin eyes. So I was very intrigued about this, but it wasn't the right time. So Michael Kaku often discusses the Kardashian scale. I hope I pronounced that right. Now, type 1 civilization. Now, I want you to think of the universe when you're thinking about this, not just the world. A civilization that can harness all of the energy available on its planet. Now, China, which I admire, has been able to make their own sun. They came clean with what they want available to the public. And this was years ago. I came out, I put them on blast. I'm like, they in the daggone chemical, because Z got a bioengineering lab and he got a chemical degree. He only got a bachelor's. Could you believe that? Could you believe that? And now they cracking jokes, him and Putin talking about living to 150. And it all started with a chemical engineering degree. So let's go back to what I just said. You can't just build a sun. You can't, ain't no guys, whatever the race talking about, let's build a sun. Even MIT to a degree. To a degree, maybe at a certain point they may do some stuff like that, but to the minute population that builds robots and shit, okay, they don't have it like that. But to build your own sun, now America is smart. They don't tell what they do, just like with the invisible, transparent, what is that word, stealth technology. Everybody who had a fascination from 4,000 years ago with mirrors. And now we're at a point where we can put on an effing cloak like Harry Potter, and you would never know someone was in your house. They have it in certain countries where they put a bunch of mirrors on a car, reflective mirrors. It's so creative. But China tells us what's going on. And you have to think, well, what does America have? We were working with the Russians during that time where Bob Lazar was reverse engineering a spacecraft for America at Area 51. So it's it's not alarming. If it's alarming to me to hear that, I can only imagine what America is saying. They probably like, we got this under control. Why don't you worry about your show, Cloud, and we'll worry about government stuff over here. Stuff like that. However, I'm interested. God damn it. So global renewable energy. I always used to like NASA had a show that they did on Instagram a long time ago. And I got on there and I'm like, why don't we harness the sun like a dormant sun on a different planet? Why don't we do that? You don't need all those suns. Take a sun, suck it up, and let it blow out. Because it's a couple of a couple million years from now, we're going to live. It's no longer going to be 24/7. Yeah. It's going to be 25, possibly 8. I always used to say that. And then I was like, you know what? Let me look it up. So it's going to be 25 hours. Then you got military time. Then you got I, I've done so many weirdo stuff. I don't understand why I do it, but you got military time. You got our time. You got all types of times in the world. But it's tricky. It's tricky. You know, there's another way. That's how I found 25/8, because there's another way to add it up. I forgot. Don't ask me. I'm not even going to try. That was years ago. But it's another way to add up time if you situate them and notice the patterns within them. And you know, this is a hub, like Elon Musk said. It's just a hub. Wouldn't you want to go out of space? So renewable energy, we got that. Planet-wide communication, we got that. Advanced infrastructure, it's advanced enough. Type 2 civilization uses the energy of an entire star. Well, if we can grow suns out of nothing, you know, we may be able to use energy from an entire star. Now, this is often associated with Dyson spheres and massive space engineering. Type 3 civilization uses the energy of an entire galaxy. Now, I know it just doesn't end with quantum. Quantum is infinite, eternal, forever, to crack the code. Like, if no one has, yeah, a galaxy. Now, is the 3 stars that is aligned with the pyramid of Giza within our galaxy. Where are we now? Whoa. Kaku Austin says humanity is around a type 0.7, type 0.8. We are not yet type 1, which is global renewable energy, planet-wide communication, advanced infrastructures. He's downplaying it. We are definitely a type 2 civilization. If we're putting aluminum foil, aluminum tubes up in the universe, we still rely on fossil fuels. What about those rocks? Those giant rocks, or as y'all elegantly call it, asteroids from the rock people that house exotic minerals, rare earth, not if these aren't rare earth minerals, these are rare minerals, period. They don't come from Earth. He frequently suggests that within the next century or two, humanity could approach type 1 civilization, possible characteristics, global internet, AI assistance, quantum computing, advanced robotics, space expansion, renewable energy dominance. Trump has almost did all of that. Okay. Synthesis intelligence is not officially a scientific category yet, but many futurists use it to describe the next possible step beyond today's artificial intelligence. So this is the evolutionary timeline. Human intelligence, artificial intelligence, generative AI, agentic AI, synthetic synthesis AI, artificial general intelligence, artificial super intelligence, collective intelligence, planetary intelligence, interplanetary intelligence. We are at artificial intelligence. The next one is generative AI. Artificial intelligence today. Chat GPT, Grok, Claude, which I have downloaded recently, Gemini, can write, analyze, generate images, and code, cannot truly understand, feel emotions, or possess a conscious. Agentic. Hold up. These are not in order. Where's agentic? Right there. Hold on. You jump from artificial to agentic, but it says artificial generative. Whatever. Keep going. Agentic AI is 25 to 2030. 2025 to 2030. Expected growth area. Example, AI that can schedule meetings, runs businesses, conducts research, controls robots. Instead of answering questions, it performs tasks. And that's what the government computers do in the background. They can sense when an attack is being, and how the hell do they know where that's how advanced they is. You have to literally know a lot about computers to know when to attack somebody. And I wouldn't even I would be so scared to try to seep into the government. Even if I knew I couldn't get caught, I still wouldn't do it because I just know it's wrong. And eventually you're going to get caught. Synthesis intelligence 2030. A proposed future stage. Characteristics. It combines human knowledge, AI systems, scientific fields, and data sources. Instead of merely answering what is cancer, it synthesizes medicine, genetics, economics, psychology, sociology into one solution. Think AI that combines intelligence rather than simply generating content. True. So imagine, what is cancer? The medicine says that cancer is caused by such a, you know, XYZ. But let's just say a drug called Forterra takes it away briefly and put it in remission. It synthesizes what medicine is good for the genetics of that body, the economics, the money part that plays a role, and how the economy is doing, psychologically, you know, how the cancer could do someone psychologically, and sociology. So sociable, or, you know, the study, it's not the study of socializing. The sociology is different than psychology. And I want to say it's a study of socializing a little bit, the study of how many great people socialized and created intelligent thoughts based on their studying of and analogies of life itself. AGI, artificial general intelligence. This is often viewed as the holy grail. Characteristics: learns any intellectual task, transfers knowledge between fields, performs like a highly educated human. AGI could learn medicine, learn law, learn engineering without needing separate training. No confirmed AGI exists today. ASI, artificial superintelligence, popularized by futurists like Ray Kurzweil, Nick Bostrom. Characteristics: smarter than every human, solve problems beyond human ability, creates new science. That's cool. Create new technologies. Michael Kaku's future scale. He often talks about humanity becoming type 1 civilization. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't. Hold on. 100, a century to 2 centuries, which is 100 to 200 years. Features: planetary energy grid, AI everywhere, advanced robotics, smart cities, type 2 civilization, thousands of years. They're not going to let it. Harness the star's energy, massive space engineering. We're part there. When they millions of years, galactic scale civilization, colonization of many star systems. You know, I forgot what they said, but I'll leave it alone. 26 to 2030. AI coworkers, AI doctors, AI teachers, AI lawyers, personal AI assistants. 2030 to 2035. Brain computer interface become more common. Advanced robotics, AI research scientists, AI run businesses. 2035 to 2040. Possible early AGI, human AI collaboration everywhere. Personalized education, personalized medication. One last one. I have to know this question. I'll wait. What is a blockchain? Which is a digital ledger record book that is shared across many computers instead of being stored in one centralized location. Think of it like this: traditional bank, one organization controls the records. Blockchain, thousands of computers verify and store the records. Cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrencies are Bitcoin and Ethereum. You remember when they were trying to sell us a phony dream of getting into cryptocurrency before cryptocurrency became, I believe, decentralized. I believe, into some banks like Fidelity and it's another one. Robinhood is a good one. Smart contracts, computer programs that automatically execute um, agreements, supply chain tracking, following products from manufacturer to customer. Digital identity, secure online verification. Voting systems. Some researchers explore blockchain based voting for transparency. Ownership records, property, intellectual property, and digital assets. Blockchain helps create records that are difficult to author after they've been verified. Are so they are within the galaxy. You know, Orion's belt is located within our own galaxy. So, are you thinking hard? The pyramids of Giza that aligns with Orion's belt stars, and they come down here and they put pyramids. These are advanced civilizations. They just don't die. Like, come on now. They don't die, they multiply. And then I debunked. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Stuff isn't sounding right about light years and galaxies away. You know, they make it sound so unconventionally time daunting and it can never happen type stuff. No way. I just want to leave that for a piece of thought. Okay. Okay. Okie doke, y'all. That is it. I wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching my show today. And I will be back on here to do another show. Just give me some time to get adjusted. And I hope y'all learned something. I hope that y'all really truly learned something. So remember that. We talked about Apple, Orion's belt, and AI, so much stuff. And I hope you learned something new today. Well, until next time, take care